Hello everyone, all part of J3 or S3 shop for TFT8. My name is Milanus. Well, just going to teach you how to update the mod pack, well, the mission template for the missions, of course. But before all that, you gotta make sure you have them folder in your missions folder under your profile, under missions, and then it will be the template v.vr. That would be the name of it in the folder, which would contain all the information that we have as the presets and functions. Right? You just open it up. You go to scenario and open, or you can click, or you could just press Control O and just open from there. And then you just select template, which will be virtual reality map terrain. You load it up. As you can see, we have this old, well, outdated unit list composition that we have. What we're going to do is actually, the first thing we're going to do is just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. This also includes the headless clients we have to remove as well, because they are considered as individuals, as player slots. And they're, just in case, if things go bad, we save it. And for just a brief summary of our mission template, right here is the medical tent. You could do advanced patch up to people using the pack, or you can do it on a medical vehicle. Right here is these arsenal box. It contains the code for the stuff. Just gotta for a spectator, arsenal, all that jazz. Right here are the Zeus access, which is given to the headless client, well, to the person that's logged in, the mission maker role, individual account, and the journalist, the basically the S6 J6 media person. Right here is the orbit, which is configured, is connected, linked up to a PBO that we have in our mod pack. The arsenal, well, the service vehicle assets, as in to supply ammo, fuel, prepare for the helicopters, and now armor. And then our little flag as well. If you see, take a look, this is your little notes for you guys to read. Just to let you know as well, since I'm not sure if some of you are aware, this flag is also the respawn flag, respawn placeholder. So if a member dies, or someone dies during the mission, they get respawned in the vicinity of the flagpole. We do have the little marker for it, invisible marker for it, but it won't. We just have it in case as a backup. You can put it right just in case, put it right on top of it if you want to do that. But other than that, this flag will just be is the only effective way to do it, since it not only captures the exact position but also the height. So if you put it, let's say for example, put it right here, everyone's gonna be respawning on top of yours, even respawning outside of it, of the little hut. Back. Yep. Now the first unit we're going to be spawning is the mission maker himself. So we'll just put a rifleman unarmed, so it's easier. The first thing we're going to do, since this is Overlord, Outlaw, this would be role description Outlaw, or mission maker. And they use @outlaw, and this use the @ symbol to rename the marker on the map, and then this will be the name for it that shows up on it. Alright? And then of course you leave everything else by itself. I mean, you can add some other things, but really it's just outlaw. And then just for the sake of it, since we're using variable on the... Hi, I do forgot to mention one thing about variables. Variables are, just little quick note names for each unit or any object that you try to add in. For this case, we do it for the individual units, so it's easier for mission makers to script the coding if they want to add a little effect to the individuals, or like a protection in case they want to do a roleplay of a scenario where they don't want them to just instantly die immediately, because Arma is Arma. Or how we have it is set up for it as well. We organize it based on the groups, or ground groups like Draco, Wotan, and Iron Horse. We give them their individual call signs, well, abbreviations to it. So keep it simple. Alright. Zeus module, which will give Zeus access for the U role. Just give it MM, since this module is referencing to that and gives him Zeus access. Now the next one, it'll be another one. Oh yeah, before I even do that, just in case, if it does not work, you just rename this to Outlaw. Basically, if for individual units, you just click on them, click the little icon above them for heads, rename the call sign to Outlaw. And then you do the same thing for the next unit. But this time it's it has is not playable. So what you do is make it playable, not a player, because then it's gonna overwrite the other one. And then you just put SJ for shop journalist. And then you would give the role description. At journalist at press. I mean, that's the only way to put it. You just make the abbreviation small and brief. I'm gonna cancel that since I did that by accident. Now the next thing is we're going to go with the Orbat. Since we have how the hierarchy goes, we have HQ, the infantry, and the supporting assets. So what we're going to do is at the list for HQ, which is going to be involving buyers. Well, the commanding task force officer, the executive officer, well, in pseudo of that, but since there's not enough time, there is a composition I did make for this specifically, which we can use for reference. Okay, have it. Atlas. That would be it, right? And this is kind of weird since they change up their look and everything else. Alright, so give me one moment. Thank you for your joining back. I was about to say, this will be the preset for the task force HQ, which will be Atlas. And it'll still be a playable unit, since we have that composition from before, and it has been structurally sound for going back to the way it was before the changes. So at this composition, it'll be the task force commander, the task force executive officer, the task force command sergeant major, and then of course, well, this is gonna be for the ground aspect, not for the actual orbit. This will be for the TAC P and the SR operator, which will be, they use the drones. And since this was a composition already made, I have to change a little the squad's call sign, and it'll be Atlas. Just so you can see for reference. To test it, see if the order works, you go to play in multiplayer. And you just hit OK, and then you just see if the order is sound, and as you can see, it works. And then you go back. All right. Now we gotta go back to the orbit again. Right. Now we have the 101st. So what we're gonna do is we starting with the first section, which will be Draco 1. It will be platoon leader, sergeant, medic, and RTO. And then they have their combat engineers in the mix. Then you have first squad, Alpha team first squad, Bravo team, and Charlie team. And then you have the second squad with its Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie teams. So to start it off, I mean, you would just grab a rifleman role, but just for the sake of it, we'll follow the same way as we have for this portion right here, the platoon leader. So we would have squad leader for the moment. Put him in there, and then that's it. And then you rename him to First Platoon HQ, First Platoon. Draco 1. Be it playable. First Platoon. First PL. Well, actually, you would put PL since, hey, it's gonna be the only platoon leader. If our ground. Actually, there will be multiples, so for the sake of this, it'll be DPL for Draco Platoon. Platoon leader. And you don't change anything else, but you still gotta change his squad call sign to Draco 1 just to be consistent. Same thing for this guy, since he's gonna be press, it's gonna be press. Okay, and then once you're done with that one, next one up is the platoon sergeant. Since there isn't no platoon sergeant, you would, I mean, you could use anyone, but don't use the medics as such. But just for the sake of it, just follow the roles, and then you attach them to the group, and then you do the same thing. Is it first platoon? Actually, to make it easier, since it's gonna be first platoon, since we're having a platoon, Draco platoon leader, Draco 1, Draco platoon sergeant, and Draco 1. Make a playable DPS. There you go. We have that set up. Now the next one is the platoon medic, which when you would use the combat lightsaber role just to make it easier on yourself and for everyone else. And then after that, you pretty much know how to handle this. And well, I'll skip all this so then I can show you the first squad. Okay. Alright, since now we're going to be heading making the composition for the squad. The first squad will be the platoon leader and the platoon medic. Alright, so we just simply add in the platoon section, which will be, of course, will be the squad leader. Hold it. Alright, that. As I was to say, this is gonna be Draco 1-1. This is gonna be this first squad. You just put the abbreviation right there. And then this would be Draco first squad. Squad leader at Draco 1-1 player. It's almost playable. And then this would be the DS. This would be a squad leader, and I made a little boo boo. And then right there is squad leader, and then it's gonna be the medic. It's gonna be those two only. And he's gonna follow the same method as well. Draco squad medic. Well, Draco first squad medic. Draco 1-1. Draco first squad leader. And you know, you don't need to mess anything with the combat lightsaber roll because Ace already is already integrated with that. So if there's a medic roll, it's already applied. Same thing for the engineers. Since we have the engineers right here, they already have the engineer roll automatically, naturally. Okay, so now we're gonna have the fire team leader, which would be, of course, the team leader. And it's not gonna be its own squad, so it's gonna be part of, you know, Draco 1-1. Except it's gonna be Draco first team squad team leader Alpha team. Put more emphasis on that. Draco 1-1. Of course, he has to be playable. Can't remember that. And then, you know, you just keep following the same method for the auto riflemen, grenadiers, AT, and then you know, you copy the same thing, but instead of Alpha team, it's gonna be Bravo team. So follow the same verbatim. Here, let me put in the auto rifleman. Put him right here. Squad him up. And then, you know, you do the same for, oh yeah, I do keep forgetting to do this every time. Since you have Draco squad leader, then now you add in Draco squad medic. DSM. And then this is gonna be ETL. And then the DAR. DAR. The reason why I'm separating that, because it's gonna be separate from the WO10, the Armor Division, just in case, and for future proofing for any other squads that we'll be adding in the future. And you know, it's a big, you know, dummy proof system that I'm trying to implement. And then you do the same thing. Jackal first squad. Automatic rifleman. Alpha team. Draco 1-1. And then you pretty much know the verbatim of that. So I'll fast forward it to we have to do the second squad. Actually, we'll just fast forward for all of that since it's gonna be the same squads formation. Alright. We'll get to the armor section in just a few moments. Just to mention one more thing, I forgot to. Since you're gonna be doing a little bit of copy pasting with some of the roster, you could just simply do this. Right click on the team leader, hit edit, you go to edit and then copy, and then you can just paste it. And now it's gonna create another one with the new. When you paste it, since it's gonna be the same role and everything else, it'll add a underscore and then a number. And then you just simply now replace Alpha team to Bravo team, and then you're all set. And then you put them in the squad. Same thing for the automatic rifleman. Well, I'm doing to make it easier for me. I just hit Control C, and then Control V to paste it. Well, Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste it. So that way, it copies everything else. All you gotta do is just simply replace that with Bravo team, and then you just go with a competent engineer. I mean, you could do easier way as well as grab the engineer role from the previous one and just paste it right there, and then just add it to the squad, and then you just change it from there from Draco platoon to Draco squad engineer. Engineer. And yes, I did a little boo-boo, so let me fix that real quick. Yeah, it's kind of hard trying to set all this up because verbatims is a bitch and wording everything is a lot. So now we're back to business. Now we can add in the marksman, and then we'll head to the armor section in a few moments now. I just mentioned one more thing. Since it's gonna be the same squad, instead of just repurposing all, making more units, you just copy and paste. You just click. You just click the, the squad's icon, and you just hit, well, edit and copy or Control C, and you paste it. It'll have everything exactly, except you just gotta need to replace first squad to second squad, and replace Draco 1-1 to Draco 1-2, and then replace the squad's call sign to 1-1 from 1-1 to 1-2. And then we'll get to the next portion now. Alright, now that we're gonna head to the real fun part of dealing with the armor section, since now we've completed the 101st. Just to let you know, as you can see, we have this TAC P. It's already part of Platoon, no, Task Force HQ, so you don't need to worry about that. Engineers is part attached to the squad as well. So we'll get to the crews now. Since there's gonna be 4 sections. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 sections. Well, 2 sections actually, technically. First vehicle and second vehicles for each of them. What we're gonna do is just add crewmen. And this is gonna be 110, 1-1. And we're gonna basically do the same thing as we did to for the squad, except it's gonna be all the same thing. What we're gonna do is just create the section for the first vehicle, and then just copy and then replace it with first and second vehicle, like we did with the squads. Okay, and we'll fast forward to the air section right after. Alright, just to make it easier as well, since the crews should know about their stuff. Since crews are not engineers, I mean, they could fix some of their stuff. I mean, I'll go back to talk to to the Wotan command, person in charge of Wotan, to see if they need to be engineers. If not, I'll just go ahead and do that for the meantime. If this is just for on the record, then okay. If not, I can revert it back, since you could just simply turn it off at a flip of a switch, and then next mission they won't be repairing the vehicles instantly. Well, not instantly, but in full condition. Anyways, we'll just continue on. Alright, now we're going to be dealing with the air section. Actually, since we will have recruits coming in, possible recruits, or people that want to join in as guests of the unit, we need to add a separate section for that specifically. And well, since as you see our roster is a little bit small, it can do is simply take the slot, so there's no really need to have all that. So for the meantime, we're going to go to the air section, which is not much to add. I mean, we just have the command, the squadron commander, squadron XO, and the squadron sergeant major. Marines. Okay, so we're gonna add in the pilots, specifically helicopter pilots. Of course, since it's gonna be commander's role, it's gonna be Iron Horse 06. That's gonna be the squad name, and this would be the player. IH SC. I don't remember what I did something with this. Where I did something. I probably did a little boo-boo, but I'll fix that later. But, get the point. Commander. Iron Horse 06. Horse. Roles. Because there's some people that will try to become medics and instead of asking for the medic role every time, they just have it naturally inherited. Same thing for the engineer role. It's for the light repairs, very light repairs, and of course it's gonna be situational as well for the rearming and such. Okay, now we go with the XO. In pace since there's no need, and then Quadra XO. Executive officer. That would be 7, I recall. 5. Then you do the same thing since it's gonna be a sergeant major. It'll be a crew chief. Oh, surprisingly, there is a crew chief role. Actually, I'm more curious about. Oh, that's what it looks like for everyone else. Yeah. Y'all gonna be looking the same. I'm feeling this. Oh, that's why. That's for a mod, and we don't want to use the mod. So what we're doing is using the vanilla mods because we're trying to keep it simple, straightforward, and shit breaks. Well, it breaks. What we can also do. People don't know much. Oh yeah, do gotta do this. Sergeant, is it Sergeant Major? Yep. What you can do is, if you don't want to mess around with it, you can just simply go to type in, switch it up to another unit, and there. You're all set. That's an old call sign. Iron Horse 7. I swear to God, is it one word or 2 words? Oh, and yeah, I saw my little boo boo as well. If you're once you've been doing this for all these years, you kind of it does happen mentally. So you'll still be attached to adding stuff quickly without even thinking. And then of course now we're going to be dealing with the flight, the flight sections. Since there's going to be a pilot and a co-pilot and crew. So the standard for all this is the pilot, and which in this case is going to be the flight leader. Drago. No, not Drago. Iron Horse 1. Actually, it's 1-6 because he's the flight leader. HFL. And you do the same thing as all the others. Co-pilot. I mean HP because helicopter pilot. Because we're gonna have jet pilots and helicopter pilots. We gotta differentiate between the two, and gotta keep them in line. And now we add in the crew. Add in there. Crewman, air crew. Iron Horse 1-6. I think I did the same thing. Yep. And for the abbreviation for the AC, there you go. There. And then, you know, so it's easier for you. There. Now you have Iron Horse 6. Now, instead of doing all of that, well, the verbatim for the formations for it most of the time would be the pilot, the co-pilot, and then 2 gunners for each side. So that's more, you know, since we have the notion of using, for good reference, the Venom has door gunners on the side, so you would have the composition of 2, the pilots and then the gunners. You won't have it for the Alien, but you would have a gunner in the back for the heck of it. Well, at certain times, or you would have it just crew sitting on the benches at the front with their guns ready to go, or to help out any ground force assistance, just to get them in, or whatever they're assigned to do. Right? Nobody's perfect. And Collins, I want you to shut the fuck up, or Cardozo, please, if you're watching this video. And then, well, as we'll just keep copying pasting until we have 1, 2, 3, 4 flights ready. Well, not flights, but I guess you would consider it sections, because this is the first flight, and then that we're continuing on to the next one for the jet pilots, and then that should be it. So we'll continue on. Alright, sorry for that slight delay. Just to let you know about one more thing, tidbit. As you know, it's in the grouping from the Task Force HQ. I added, this is a little bracket just separated between the squads and, well, units itself. So when you're in the multiplayer lobby, you would just see this in each bracket for the first group in that, you know, section. So it'd be Drake one that had the 101st bracket, and then after that, the rest of the squads of Draco won't have that till you reach to Wotan, and then it will be first AD, first Armored Division, and then you would have HMH 461 for the Iron Horse. Now that we're done with that, we can get to the jets now. jet portion. Go ahead and grab a jet pilot. Or just a pilot. But make sure you have the vanilla pilot, not the ones that they have right there. It's like for any mods, because the purpose is to be vanilla as possible. In case of a mod pack update, fucks up the template, just keep it vanilla. That's it. And now we're gonna deal with for the VMA 231. It still be part of 461. So then it'll just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fixed. Don't tell anyone. It's fixed. This would be Iron Horse 2. This would be the flight leader. Iron Horse 2. Iron Horse. Oh yeah, this would be a second one. Since we already have one flight leader. And then you would do the same thing. Actually, I doubt they would have medic role. But yeah, I doubt they would have any of these, so there wouldn't be no real need for them because, you know, once the plane's shot, it's shot. But at the same time, you know, due to we don't have no logistics, like no people waiting at base, and if they don't want to wait for Zeus to come over to heal him, to deal it for them, you would, you know, give them those roles so then they could do it on their own. You know, while, you know, the mission maker is currently busy trying to roleplay or trying to unfuck something in the background and they cannot, you know, pay attention to them. Okay? Before. So that way, the mission makers have no issues dealing with that. Now that is out of the way. Horse 2. Actually, it will be 2-6 in this case. 6, and then I would go with VMA 231. Double checking one more thing. Now that's all done. I have the pilot ready. And then we'll continue on with this, and then that should be it for making the mod. Well, make it the template. The next thing I'll teach you, I'll do it right after I complete this, so one moment. There, now we have added all the roster in here. I mean, there's also other roles to worry about, but that's gonna be more for the training section. And, you know, since we don't get that much people on our roster, so if we have people coming out of that are in reserve that want to show up, they could just take one of the slots. Same thing for the trainings, and also people who do want to be part of, you know, we have guests that wants to show up for it. They can use one of the slots over here, except for the armor cap unless we have another, visiting unit that uses vehicles, armored vehicles. So the next thing we'll be dealing with, since we're with all of this fun stuff, is adding the headless clients. All right. So we would have, let me see, logic entities. It would be under the systems, logic entities, and headless client. What should we do? Well, I mean, you could just do it that way of going through there to open it, make it playable, HC1. But since I made a composition already, actually thinking about that, I could just here, just a good reference, this will be the headless clients right here. That would be the name for each of them. But knowing that this is an old system we have, we might need to update. Oh, shite. That is fixed. Well, we're gonna make a new one just for the sake of it. Just for the demonstration of this. This would be headless client 1. Headless client 2. Headless client 3. And then you're pretty much done for that. And the reason why you need these to be done at the end, because when you start up the lobby, the first thing it'll take you is to the headless client slot, which no one can be in there. So then, now that everything's all set, you don't need, if pretty much everything is set up. Everything is saved, and now the next thing, this will only apply if you have GitHub. Speaking of, GitHub is one of those sites that we have. What the heck? Oh man, when was the last time I dealt with this? Missions. Been a while since I've gone to GitHub. So what we're gonna do is, and since I mentioned what GitHub is it's a website where you have all the coding, and this is where you'll keep stuff stored in there. Kind of scripters heaven. What we have it for in the unit is a place to store our documentation. So then, how we have it is set up for it, if we want to upload a mission, or anything, well, not upload missions, but upload a documentation to save without the need of a server box, have it here, and we already have it saved through here. And this is just some old stuff, because we have some, archives of here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is copying the new thing. And yeah, so if you're seeing all this, is just some old stuff from a long time ago. Nothing that's in the works. This is just some archiving that I've saved for a long time. We delete that, and now we paste it. So now, because I can't just simply drag and drop because it's in the same folder, and then what I'm going to do is 7-zip it and turn it into a zip file. Not a 7-zip, just a zip file. And then it's going to be showing here. And then, well, you could. And then, well, the neat thing about the GitHub, when you do it on the program itself, it's connected to your account, which then you can upload it to the to the website automatically, and we'll update on the spot. And now I can push the origin. So now the template is now updated. Everyone that wants to make missions can now use the new template. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I'm gonna message out to everyone right now. So if you need more explanation about this, this is a complicated, excruciating, painful process, message me or anyone in charge of S3J3. And I'm saying this for future's sake, not for the moment. Or just to ask anyone from that's in charge of J4 or S4. Okay, anyone that has knowledge of this, of understanding how to make missions. All right. Thank you and good fucking night.